Hey everyone, and thanks for logging on to WMAR2news.com. Meteorologist Mike Taylor with an update to Hurricane Florence as it's now making its approach. One thing I want to mention, we'll focus on what this means for Maryland, and the good news for us is that it's not going to mean much, but it is going to be a pretty catastrophic situation, to say the least, for the Carolinas. So let's jump right into it. It's a very large storm, and I can't stress that enough, roughly about 330 to 50 miles wide. And some of the outer bands are starting to make their approach towards the coast already, about 90 miles away from the closest band towards North Carolina. This is a Category 3 storm. She has weakened a little bit with the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, now at about a Category 3, winds at 115 with gusts to 150, pressure at 956, moving at northwest at 16 miles per hour. The latest breakdown of this track, one thing stays consistent, the approach and the western movement, or westward movement towards the coast. Once we get into Thursday afternoon, because the storm is so large, the conditions are going to deteriorate pretty rapidly for the coast of North Carolina and South Carolina, and even for the eastern coast of Southern Virginia. This is where things change up a little bit, and I mean change up for the worst. The storm is going to slow down. It'll be at a Category 3 strength. That will be bad news because this will be the eye of the hurricane pretty much straddling the coast of the Carolinas right here at a major, so that's a major hurricane straddling the coast, producing storm surge, rain, I mean you name it, all the nuances or the dangers that come along with hurricanes will be in play for about 24 to 36 hours straight based on this track and how it slows down. So here's a look at the hurricane force winds. About 24 hours straight of seeing these types of conditions. The wind field makes its approach to North Carolina, and look how long that red hurricane force zone, 74 mile per hour winds or greater, stays over North Carolina and continues to move south towards South Carolina near Charleston. So this is a very large storm, and let me just freeze this for you right here and show you how large the wind field is. I mean, this is about 310 miles just for those tropical force winds. So this is going to be a very dangerous situation with the wind, the storm surge. The rain is the other side of it. Let me talk about this rain for a little bit. When these storms stall out like this, it can cause some pretty big and significant problems. About 18 to 24 inches of rain will be a possibility in North Carolina and South Carolina and some of the surrounding communities and backyards. That's bad news. Local reports could be up to about 40 inches. Definitely possible. Can't rule that out. This rain forecast looks like a snow forecast in like the northeast during the heart of winter with a bad nor'easter. Yeah, but we're not talking snow, we're talking rain. Pretty significant stuff here. To put it in perspective once again, numbers tell the story. 6.5 trillion gallons of rain likely to fall across North Carolina and South Carolina. This is not including some of the surrounding states that will be dealing with this system as well. So it really puts it in perspective. On the opposite end of it, we have Maryland. Our wind impacts are going to be minimal at best, 15 to 30 miles per hour. Bay and coastal flooding, we're dealing with that now. Winds from the east could pile up the water a little bit during high tide, so that will be a concern. Coastal flooding, especially for areas on the western side of the Chesapeake Bay. Rainfall amounts about a half inch to an inch, heaviest south of US 50. But I think we'll get some wind issues from Florence for her exit from the United States. So this is what I mean. Your Saturday, your Sunday, it won't have a tremendous impact from the storm, but look what happens with the winds once we go into the middle of next week. Those winds really kick up into the wind advisory criteria. Now these are the wind gusts, but this is significant enough and our ground is pretty saturated. Depending on how much rain we get between now and next Tuesday and Wednesday will determine how much of an impact Florence, or what's left of it, will bring to Maryland. And thanks for joining us here at WMAR2news.com to get your forecast information. Next planned update for the forecast or even the 7-day will be for tomorrow morning with Lynette and then Eric Taylor for tomorrow afternoon. Have a good one.